Hello everybody. Today I am creating sketch of a tabby cat, and I thought I still will speed this up a little bit because otherwise it will take a bit too long for the video. It took me about 2 hours to create this sketch, but I thought, I'm gonna speed it up, but not too fast, so you still can see the steps how I'm creating the sketch. So I started here, as you see, with a pan pastel, and I'm working on Fisher 400 pastel paper, one of my favorites. At the moment I'm just using one color just to create a bit of an outline of a cat, so you can see the photograph next to it as well. So my picture is a bit to the angle, so because camera like from my right hand side, and the image of my drawing you see is a bit distorted. That's why when you draw, you look at the picture and draw directly from the reference you put in front of your eyes. But in my tutorial you just can see the steps, and it's all at the moment pan pastel. I'm trying to put some color now, like create underlayer for the sketch, trying to do some shades and dark places, lighter places, some darker lines. What I look at the photo and I just literally copy what I see, trying to create the right position for eyes, nose, mouth, and there's got a lovely bowl in there. So, and just carry on working with soft pastel. That's how I do it. Right now I am taking a pastel pencil here to create more clear lines, more bright lines, and at the moment there were eyes I was drawing, now is the nose lines, so just trying to create more defined lines for details and putting a bit more color. I also want to mention I started drawing when it was morning, so I had to use not a daylight, so it was just a lamp in my studio. So it will change because I will carry on drawing with the daylight. You will see the difference, but at the moment it's quite yellowish light in general. So what I'm doing now, I'm working with pastel pencils, and sometimes I'll use hard pastel sticks, but creating more sharper lines. As you see, I'm not concentrating on making it perfectly fine. So when I work, as you see, I work everything together with everything straight away, creating kind of the whole idea of a cat. So we can see that's how I work always. If you see in some of my tutorials, I work with all the image straight away. I can't do it gradually. I need to see that it's coming up right, and that's what I want to see. So that's why it's pretty much here and there, and ears and eyes and mouth, so it's just all over. What I see with popping out in my eyes, I see I need to work with this always then. So yeah, just carry on working, creating now with more brighter lines with a pencil. Now what I'm doing, actually, I am smoothing these lines with blending stamp. It's like a paper blending tool. So it gives you a nice soft blending, and all the lines we created with you previously with the pastel pencils, they were more hard lines and bright lines. Now we just smooth them, so they still are there, they're still creating more shape to the to our cat, but they're getting more smoother, so it's another underlayer. So the first one was just one pastel, now we're working, then the second one I've done with the pencil, and then I've done it with the paper blending tool. you will see now me changing from the pencil to blending tool, and now I'm going with the lighter pencils, creating a lighter lines. So what I'm gonna do now, when it's kind of, you know, we've got already an underlayer, you will see me working with pencils, with pastel sticks, hard pastel sticks, and still again somewhere I will be using blending tools. So just a kind of a variety, a mixture of everything, where I see, like, you know, when I see there's some darker lines I grab the pencil and work with this. If I see like I need some softer lines, I maybe blend it. So you just look at your drawing, a sketch, and carry on, like, you know, working, creating layer on a layer on a layer. Yeah, the good thing about the Fisher 400 is that it will take lots of layers, and lots of times it's kind of nice and bright and crisp. I like it. A bit more with eyes, and then you're going to do a bit darker areas, a bit lighter highlights. If you see in a photo, you can see that the right hand side of the cat is more in a shade, and this side is the eye on this side is a bit darker. But what I will be creating, I will be making the eyes a bit more lighter, both of the eyes, so they both got the shine. So yeah, but it is up to you, completely up to you, what you would like it to be like. You can copy completely like it's in a photograph. But again, don't forget, you are the artist and you can do it the way you want it. It's just a sketch. We're trying to get it right, but you know, it's up to you. How you see it is you just drawing it the way you see it. You are an artist. You are the artist. Well, anyway, now you noticed what I meant. Like, now I've got the daylight here, daylight, and you can see completely different pictures. So all my yellowish light, which was from, like, you know, from my lamp in a studio, it's gone now. Anyway, and with the daylight is a completely different tone palette. So yeah, I'm looking at the photograph, at the reference, and I noticed there's more kind of orangey, browny colors as well present, not just grey, not just black. So he's got a very nice beige color, like and bluish. There's lots of colors involved, but so it's all about now, like, you can put some color, a little bit of color. So if it's orangey and you see if it is a bit too bright, smudge it. You can smudge it with your finger, you can smudge it with the paper blending tool. And yeah, paper blending will give you probably the softest, the best, like, you know, a proper smudgy look. The next would be if you do it with your finger, it wouldn't smudge as much. Sometimes you can use a silicone blending tool, and it's like kind of, you know, doing the less smudgy feel. Right, here we are moving to the bow, and let's have a look what I do here. First of all, just color it with one tone, similar to what I see on the reference. Then I smudge it with my paper blending tool. Now shadows, shadowy areas, a bit of a black pastel pencil, and then again smudge it with my paper blending tool. You see how soft it's smudged the color. I went over the edges there, but never mind, we're gonna erase it. And the lights on in a lightest area, and so with a light color. Now I'm trying to create a little, like, there's a little heart on the bow, but because of my white pastel is quite thick chalk, I just tried to make it hard, but probably it's not perfect, to be honest. So still, it's quite obvious little dots in there, so that's what I was trying to achieve. And since it is just a sketch, with the sketches we're not trying to make it precisely and perfectly. This is just an idea to get a feel, to create something, like, you know, quick and expressive. So that's why it's not a perfect heart there, but it's up to you. You can, like, you know, draw little perfect hearts in there. Yeah, so carry on doing a bit more shady areas. So I'm moving a bit more to the body of this lovely cat, and creating more, darker areas where I see the his pattern is going. Yeah, and more little size hair. Well, I'm using here that blending tool. It's a silicone blending tool, which I mentioned before. All the blending tools will give you different effects. You need to try them, and then you will understand what I mean. Right, and a bit more other color pastel. I notice it's got a very nice creamy color to it. So, well, we just carry on working now, creating more depths where we need it, like getting a bit more darker or more light where we need it. So just like you creating, building layer and layer and layer on our cat to make him a bit more real, like, to give him a bit more volume and look more 3D. So work more with the eyes, mouth, but and again, blending tool. So mixture of everything. I quite like blend the edges when I draw the animals, because when they're soft, like, they dissolve in the background, it's very nice. And in general, this pastel to draw animals is probably the best material, to be honest. It's so lovely. You just can feel how soft it is. So, and you see, sometimes I use my finger smudging the pastel. So with the Fisher 400, you have to be a bit careful when you use your fingers. I mentioned it before, it's quite rough paper. And yeah, just carry on. You see how strongly a paper blending tool can blend the pastel. So, and adding more color where you need to. Carry on working and putting layer on a layer, what you see, how you feel it. At the bottom I'm taking here like soft blending tool, the one which I started with when I was doing underlayer, the first part of the drawing, but I'm also using it at the bottom here because this is where I want it to be the most smudgy kind of, unclear look. Going back to the ears, I notice the ears I never done properly, and working a bit more with the ears. Yeah, for me there are two different type of drawings. So this is I call sketch. Sketch is usually created in about 2 hours per pad. I'd imagine, like, 1.5 or 2 hours per pad. And with the sketches, I don't pay too much attention to details. As long as, like, it's got the look. That's what matters. I mean, you can do some few little details which always help, but don't go too mad. Don't try to draw every single detail with the sketch. And I think sketches are very good for you when you want to learn to do more freehand drawing. It's a freehand is a very good stuff. You just with the sketches, as I said, you have no kind of commitment to copy perfectly, to draw absolutely perfect portrait. You just using the photo as a reference and do your best, and don't too concentrate on details. So working here with whiskers, you see he's got white whiskers, and obviously because I've got a kind of creamy background, it will not be very easy for me to show on a creamy background the white ones. When it is going on the coat, it's fine. You see, like, I'm correcting straight away. I noticed that, for example, his back was a bit too low. I lifting up his back and carry on working. But where the white one going on the white, I'd rather use a dark one, dark black or gray, just to show them, where the edge of the fur, because if I'll just use the cream now or white, I will not be able to see it. So, and the same thing I'm going to be doing with whiskers. So at the moment I'm just kind of going a second time with my pencils, and I'm using here Color Soft, Derwent Color Soft, which are very good on Fisher 400. I like them there. And you see I'm using a little bit of black just to show where the white whiskers are going. Any imperfections on your drawing, pastel drawing on Fisher 400 will be easily removed, can be easily removed with the kneadable eraser. So perfectly working on it. I mean, as long as you're not going too mad with your pressure on a pencil or, you know, pastel, it should take it off easily. So correcting all few little, you know, details at the end now, making a bit more highlights, and we're coming close to the end. So that's my final steps now. I'm taking a very soft pastel, which are kind of usually the brightest, and I do the highlights, the area of highlights, which at the moment looking a bit rough, but I'm gonna work on the top with a blending tool, trying to make it a bit more neater so it fit on nicely. But you know, the brightest lines, as I mentioned, the best way achieved with the soft pastel. There are plenty of brands with a really nice soft pastel. Yep, and as I said, so you can see now I'm working with the blending tool here. I decided to use actually a silicone blending tool, not to smudge it too much, because I still want to keep the black lines but at the same time keep the highlights, and the silicone blending tool is the one which will do this. Well, again, I'm trying to talk about one and then grabbing quickly straight away another tool when I've seen something, but it's just the way I work. As I said, work together with everything, and if I see something I need to correct, I quickly change the tool and correct it. But now a silicone tool, you see, I'm just and then now again a pencil. I can't even comment it because it's just keep on changing. And here I'm using a soft silicone because it's like I wanted to dissolve a bit, and not silicone, soft blending tool, because I wanted to do kind of be blend more at the bottom. But well, pretty much that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck with your drawing, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.